What's up guys, this is Gregory from photosincolor.com. Today we're going to be looking at image stabilizers. Three different image stabilizers, three different tests. The Glidecam 2000 in-camera stabilization on a G7x and a 3-axis gimbal, and we're using the Ronin M. The three tests are me running in a straight line across a desert, me running in a straight line and having the camera low to the ground, and me doing a really complex shot, running up a kind of a mountainside and a 360 rotation at the top around a person. So these are the three basic units that we used. We used a Glidecam HD 2000, which is a weighted image stabilizer. We have weights at the bottom here, and the camera is stabilized on the top. There is no electrics or motors here, and you can see it stabilizes like so. Then what we did is we used a Ronin M. So this is what I use all the time, and this is a full 3-axis gimbal with motors and everything. And then as our kind of base test, I used a Canon G7x, which has image stabilization inside using the sensor, and I just have this on a Steadicam Systems kind of one of these grip things, and I actually use this whenever you see me talking to a camera. This is what I use. So we used this. So let's jump into the tests themselves. The first thing we did was test this, which is kind of our baseline for it. And basically I held it out in front of me and I just ran as fast as I can. The great thing about this, it's tiny, it's compact, and you can do it. And I was trying as much as I can with my body to keep some stabilization here. And the results, as you'll see, loads of movement, lots of shaking, lots of movement on the edges, and I really couldn't get this very stable. So when we did that with the Glidecam, the straight run, the results were actually quite amazing. I could run and I could keep this really stable. But the challenge that I have, it was really, really windy. And so what I found was the wind would actually start rotating the Glidecam. So you kind of always have to have two hands on this, one which does the spin. The other one, which was this one, the results were fantastic. There's two different ways of holding onto it. I could hold onto it like so and kind of run in a dead straight line, or actually you can hold it with just one hand and allow it to glide. And the results were pretty awesome. So the second test we did was a dead straight run, but now we wanted to get the camera lower to the ground. And each one of these systems, you can kind of do that slightly differently. With this one, it was very simple. I just held it like this and literally just ran and held it all the way close to the floor. And the results were pretty similar to the original one. Not really usable footage, but still you could get low and you could take sections of that. You just couldn't use a long piece of footage. The Glidecam, I actually felt like this is where I got great results. Holding this upside down, for some reason I found it actually easier to balance this way. Maybe it's because the height difference, I could hold it higher. Although it was a lot easier to hold, you can see in the footage that I get a lot more camera shake on the vertical axis. None of these stabilizers actually stabilize the up and down movement. Did it stabilize the image compared to this of me just running? 100%. Kind of a challenge to stop it spinning, in my opinion. So then we looked at the Ronin. And to make this go lower to the ground, we did two things. One thing, we put it into what's called briefcase mode, which is where you spin it like this and it's going to go in this mode. And I actually dropped off the bottom handle. And what that allowed me to do was get this really low to the ground and be running and literally have it a couple of inches this from the ground. And the results were absolutely spectacular. I can't say enough good things about the Ronin. So I know that we've only tested these 3 systems today, but I'm going to have to do an update video. So if you want me to test a different image stabilizer or test it in a different way or do different tests, please let me know in the comments. I will read them and I'm going to try and implement all of those things in my next video like this. Test number 3. This we really challenged ourselves, and basically I had my buddy Dan Cooper, who is linked in the description, and I would run up a kind of a big rock, and we'd go up and we'd turn around and make this very complicated shot, and we'd try to do it with each thing there. Dan would start running, I would chase him. The first one, we had similar issues with this. I think it's clear that this is going to be the challenging one. But as we were running with the small handheld G7X image stabilizer inside the camera, was that still lots of movement as I was running. Now, the next one was the Glidecam HD 2000. And this actually had some really interesting results, and because I haven't used this a lot, I don't think what I actually filmed does it justice. I think that you can actually get way better results with this if you were to practice, and this is why. Running up the mountain, I was able to get a really nice, clear, smooth shot. But as it got to the challenging corner at the end, rather than having to get my body all the way around, with the Glidecam, all I have to do is rotate with this bottom hand, and I can actually create some really beautiful effects with this. So I could be running in a straight line, and I can actually be turning this really quickly side to side without too much problems. So I think that I needed to practice more to get a better result, and I think that the Glidecam is perfect for those shots. But I think that each time you were to do a shot like that, a complex one, there's going to be a number of practices that you're going to want to do. So great results, but definitely a learning curve and some challenges there. Then onto the Ronin. This, again, great results because it's got a 3-axis stabilization, so I could run and it was keeping it really nice and still. Now, the challenge was this. As Dan was going around that corner, with this one, it's very hard to go like this. You see the angle of that's really hard. So to get around there, what I was having to do was I was having to step around this. And that's something that I've noticed with the Ronin. Although as you're moving, you can do this, you usually want to keep your body behind it. It's going to give you far more flow. So as we were shooting that, definitely got stunning results with the Ronin, but I had to physically move a lot further. And when we got to the top, we got to do that 360. So I know that these tests are not scientific, but they do show some great results. If you think that there's a better way for me to do this, I'm going to make another video in the future. Let me know in the comments for how you think I should be testing these systems.
Like a long way away? No idea where it is.
Okay, so here it is. It's actually above us, really high. So hopefully it's going to come and land itself.
Whew, that was scary.
Okay, so let's look at the pros and cons for each one of these systems. With this one, what's the advantage? Well, the stabilization is in camera. You don't need anything else. You don't even need one of these arms. It just helps to have that. So it's a lot cheaper. It doesn't cost you anything. It comes with the camera. But really the results are you're having to do all the stabilization yourself, just with your body. Those are the cons really with this, is that I wouldn't trust it as an image stabilization system. Okay, let's now look at the Glidecam. This comes at some cost. You know, it's a few $100s, and they go all the way up to around $800–900 for their top of the line Glidecam. I think the pros for this are, it's kind of mid-range if you want to spend a few $100s to get into a stabilization. I think that you can get really great results. It's light, it's very easy to transport, it comes apart and you can put it into a very small little bag and you can travel all over the world with this. There's no batteries, there's no charging, no limits to taking this on planes or anything. This will work no matter where you go. It is a great, great system. Now, let's look at the Ronin. This is something that I use all the time and I love, but let's talk about the pros and cons. The pros here are it is a electrical image stabilization system. So it's got brushless motors, it's going to do my stabilization, it's going to do 3-axis, so it does this way, it does this way, and it does this way. It does not do up and down. None of these systems actually do up and down image stabilization. Other pros for this is the results really are quite fantastic. You get pro top level results with this, and I think you can get that pro level with the Glidecam as well. Few things with this though, it is a lot more expensive, so you're gonna have to spend over $1,000 just to get into this world. It's battery, so you always need power, you need to be able to charge it, although one of these batteries lasts for 4 hours of constant use. It's kind of amazing. The other thing, it is big. I have to carry this in a case. Now, I know that you can take it apart and make it quite small in a bag, but if you actually want to travel with it, you have to take the stand with you, you have to take all of these different parts, there's a setup time with it, and it definitely takes a moment to get used to. Another disadvantage to something like this 3-axis gimbal is it gets a lot of attention. People always want to look at it. People always want to see it. So if you want to be kind of discreet and film something, a big 3-axis system like this is not going to be. You're going to have to get more permits to shoot with something like this, for sure. A Glidecam, you can definitely just kind of glide in and out of a situation and people wouldn't notice as much. So something that you can do with a Glidecam but you can't do with a Ronin is this, selfie shots. And the best thing is I can just spin it. Amazing. Which one would I go for? Well, I own the Ronin and I think that this is amazing. For my use, this is definitely the gimbal for me. This, if I'm a vlogger or something like this and I want to do really small little videos, it's actually fine to use just a little camera and hold it steady. And the Glidecam, it sits right in the middle. I think it is, for the money, you get a lot with it. I would say that there is a greater learning curve with the Glidecam than there is with the other two systems. But I think the results from the Glidecam is definitely better than something like this. And for the money is you get almost the same results for many shots as you would do a Ronin. Okay, so that's it for this image stabilization test. Let me know in the comments below which system you think is the best. Remember, give me a like and definitely subscribe to this channel as I have loads more videos coming. Thank you so much for watching. This was Ed Gregory for photosincolor.com.